there's also like a lowering of the bar in comedy right now, where it's like all about viral clips that are a minute long. And it's just people doing like the most base, often vulgar, crude, lazy crowd work. And then that's rewarded by people clicking.
So if you take football, go back to football, you're an offensive lineman. There's a very clear, definitive line of whether you did your job or you didn't, and
Correct.
whether you win or you lose the game. And stand-up comedy, you know, just as an audience member, I've been a part of a bunch of sets where people killed. You know, I thought people were very funny when maybe the audience didn't react the same way, and vice versa, where I didn't think someone was very funny, but the audience reacted like they were. Everything in between. So how do you create the basis to lash yourself or congratulate yourself in stand-up? Like, what is the marking of a set that deserves you basking in that, like the afterglow of a good set? And what are the definitive marks of a bad set?
That's a really good question. I don't know if it's quantifiable. I don't know if there's like a metric for what's good or what's bad, but you can, like, I can definitely tell when it's going okay. Obviously, anyone can tell when it's going bad. The crowd can tell when it's going bad. You can tell when it's going bad. But those kind of sets where it's like down the middle, that's not exciting for me. And I think people in the crowd can have a fine time at a show that I would rate as like a, you know, a C, and they leave and they're like, that was fun. But I just know how good it can be, and I know like what I'm capable of. And specifically when I'm able to improvise the entire show, which I've been trying to do, you know, whether that be crowd work or riffing or just talking about my day, those are exciting shows. And I can get off stage after those and be like, that was good. So yeah, I wish I could like put it more poetically, but it's either I get off and I'm like, that was good, or I get off and I don't want to go out and sell merch. I don't want to talk to anyone after the show. I just want to lock myself in the green room and wait for the next show to redeem myself. Yeah, I don't know. And I think that I don't think comedians give crowds enough credit. You know, there's like a hive mind that occurs when people are sitting in the same room watching the same thing. And there's also like a lowering of the bar in comedy right now, where it's like all about viral clips that are a minute long. And it's just people doing like the most base, often vulgar, crude, lazy crowd work. And then that's rewarded by people clicking. And that's definitely not why I got into comedy, which was to, you know, ask a lady in the front row if she's Chinese and then have people laugh at that, you know. Like, I think that there's stuff that we can do that's still exciting. And this whole like short clips thing is kind of like encouraging people in the crowd to try and participate in the show more than I think they should have the right to. And also it's lowering their attention span and lowering the bar for what is quote unquote good comedy. So again, I've been doing this since I was 18. I'm 35 now, so I sound like I'm 1,000 years old whenever I talk about this stuff, but that's just like my feelings on it. And I don't know if they're right or wrong, but that's just my feeling.
No, that's good. That's perspective. And yeah, Instagram reels, a lot of crowd work reels specifically, like you were saying, that just a lot of, and again, I don't know if it's good or bad. I watch them. I follow a lot of comedians, but it's a lot of big highlighty text, a lot of, you know, asking basic questions, which I've been there for basic questions like that in person that have been hilarious, and when they haven't worked. But I don't know, there's like the same way there's a hypnosis aspect in stand-up comedy, there's also a hypnosis aspect on social media where I'm not really sure why I watched something. Like I watch crowd work clips and I don't even know sometimes if it's funny, but it was engaging and it made me watch the whole thing. And then that added to the algorithm, and then now Instagram's going to promote that to someone else, and the text grabs you, the cuts, like so you're always like moving slightly in the video.
The clickbait titles.
Yeah, clickbait titles, and some of them are good. Like I like a lot of them. I like it's entertaining, and there are a few that genuinely make me laugh out loud. But yeah, there is a lot of, like, you could tell it's almost for the reel, where
for sure,
where
it's
they're asking the
100%
question
for the
and
algorithm.
Yeah, like, and I've even gotten that feeling sometimes in person when I'm at a set where I'm like, oh, this is the real part.
Yes.
Like, this is for the 60 seconds, and then you know, it's it seems like the comedy, it's even affecting the flow of comedy somewhat, where people really aren't telling stories anymore as much, because you can't put a 7-minute story that has ebbs and flows, down moments, into a 60-second reel. It's just like da 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 da, and that could be really funny. But I do enjoy the story aspects more, for sure, than like the quick just set up punchline.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's good that people are, actively engaging and consuming stand-up. And if that comes in the 1-minute clip, then I think that's good probably overall for big C comedy. But I don't know if, I'll say this definitively. I don't think it's good when a comedian goes on stage trying to generate a clip. I don't think that you go on stage and you're like, okay, I need to get a new clip for this week. And in order to do that, I'm going to ask someone how long they've been with their wife or where they work, and then try and be as big and hyperbolic with whatever mundane bit of their life they reveal. And it becomes formulaic, and everyone kind of starts sounding the same. And it's just this like Ouroboros and the snake's eating its own ass. And I don't like that. And again, I'm not saying that I'm correct. That's just my feeling as someone who's been doing it every fucking weekend for 15 years.
Is there... no, go ahead. Is there someone's social media that you particularly enjoy?
I mean, as far as like the people who do that kind of thing, I really like Ian Fidance. Ian Fidance brings a bit of glee to and like whimsy and joy to what he's doing. So if I see an Ian clip, I'll traditionally watch it. I think Jordan Jensen does a good job of it because her stuff doesn't seem forced. But yeah, like also I'm not watching much stand-up ever, you know. It's not something that I like seek out and consume, you know. Like I watched Shane's special. It was great. My buddy Rand Barnacle put out a special recently. It's really good. But yeah, like if I sit down and watch an hour of stand-up, it might happen once a month. If it happens 4 times a year.
Was it Shane's because he did one for Gillian Keeves, and then he had the one live in
that
Texas.
Was great too. Yeah. I mean, everything. He's super funny, and I'm glad to count him as a friend. Yeah, so yeah, that's good stuff, you know. But I mean, like if I'm gonna like sit down and try and watch something funny, like I'm probably going to watch like Dirty Work or Happy Gilmore or Tommy Boy. Like that's the kind of stuff that if I'm like trying to get a little stoned and chill, like that's what I would put on. And again, that'll happen twice a year. My wife and I watched Son-in-Law the other day on a lark, and that held up. But yeah, I don't know, man. There's just like so many cool ways to tell stories now. And I don't think that like funny is necessarily the most interesting 90 minutes to consume, you know, because funny, like there's only like one end goal, and that's to make you laugh. And there's not really a lot of like leeway for, you know, trying to like tell a deeper story where you like build relationships and that kind of stuff.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I get rambly, dude. So if I'm ever just like fucking talking too much, just tell me to can it.
No, this is the perfect format for it. We were talking about chat roulette before we started recording. If you know, one of us is rambling, we could just press the next button and probably get a dick pic instead. But you know, we're on the long form app right now, so that's perfect.
And I think there's probably like some comparisons to be drawn from the people who grew up going on Omegle and chat roulette, and how now they're like searching out like these 1-minute stand-up clips. Stand-up's just so big now, it's so boutique, so you can find the exact kind of stand-up that you like. And if you like that stand-up, you can follow the algorithm and the suggested reels, and they'll show you other stand-up that you like. Whereas back in the day, it was like only the stuff that was on Conan, only the stuff that was on Letterman or Leno or on Comedy Central. So I guess it's better now that there's more of it. But I think that the more there is of something, the more, that the middle, the there's very bad, and then there's some good, but then there's just all this shit in the middle that is not exceptional, and people see more of that than I think that should be made available to them.